Well, Pastor Emil here with a sermon series recap. I hope you were able to join us on Sunday. We had such a fantastic time. It was such a blast. We even got to see God do miraculous things. We didn't think it was even going to happen, right? All the technology, everything was just kind of falling apart, crumbling around us. We're trying to get started. We start 10, 15 minutes late as a result. But God came through, God did miracles, God made it work, right? And the more I think about what took place on Sunday, the more I've talked to some of you about what took place on Sunday, the more I am just so thankful, the more I can't believe the opportunity we had, and I just loved it, and I've heard how much you've loved it. What a great way to cap off this sermon series on the reckless love of God as we looked at Luke 15 and the parables there, and specifically the parable of the prodigal son. To recap a little bit, we've talked about a number of things throughout this series. We've talked about idolatry. We've talked about suffering. We've talked about repentance. We've talked about God's reckless love in action. We've talked about restoration as the goal of God's reckless love. And then we talked about celebration and how, in the end, all of this stuff leads to celebration when we turn to God, when we look at the idols we've made, the things that were maybe good things, but we turn them into ultimate things, maybe even place them higher than God in our lives, the ways that God uses suffering sometimes to wake us up to our idols and to turn us to Him again, because sometimes you don't realize Jesus is all you need until Jesus is all you have. And then repentance, when we wake up to those things and we realize and we go, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've wandered this far from God. I can't believe I've turned from God. I need God. I need Jesus. I need you again. And then to see God's reckless love in action, the way the Father just runs out there, and He doesn't even care the fact that that's maybe a little embarrassing for a Middle Eastern patriarch in the first century. He doesn't care about His Son wanting to pay it back. He is just going to welcome him back in and just receive him and make him a member of the family again, no matter what it costs him or the family. He is going to make it happen. And then to see that goal of restoration, that goal of God wanting to see us in the family again, to have us with Him again. He just loves us so much. He just wants to be with us. He's not so much interested in us being good so much as He knows that us not being good is a sign that we've been disconnected from Him. That's a sign of sin and brokenness in the world. And He is just so looking forward to being with us again that He sent His own Son to die for us, to be rejected in our place so that we can be received into the family of God forever. And then what a wonderful thing that is, something that we need to celebrate. And boy, celebrate we did on Sunday. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at that again, even if you were here on Sunday, especially if you weren't here on Sunday, take a look at that video, watch it. Take the whole thing in, not just look for the message, right? Because there wasn't really a message. It was kind of broken up throughout the service. There were little messages throughout. Take a look at that and do your best to just put yourself in the seats and experience all that joy and that celebration. And I hope that we have an opportunity to do something like this again. And I hope you're able to be here in the room with us, because it was just so amazing. And if it is any indication of what we have coming, right? If even it's just 1% or 1/10% or 1/100% of the celebration that we have to come, the feast of the Lamb in His kingdom that has no end, well then, boy, is it gonna be a blast for eternity. And I sure hope there are an awful lot of people that you and I know and love that get to be a part of it. Remember, these parables are all about how we have a missionary God who goes after the lost sheep, the lost coin, the lost son. And if we have a missionary God that makes us missionary people, what if we made our entire lives focused on reaching the lost? What would that look like? What kind of joy might we experience now? And what might it do to enhance the joy that we know is coming one day. I hope we can encourage each other to be those kind of missionary people that God has called us to be. Missionary people that are bearing the image of our missionary God for the world to see. God bless you. Looking forward to celebrating with you again sometime very, very soon. Bye-bye.